Your life is a rom-com now. One of them is gonna invite you to the prom the same night the other invites you to a counterculture music show.
Jonah makes a big move, and it's possibly the episode you Jandy shippers have been waiting for. Let's break down what happened in Season 2, Episode 19 of ANDI MACK. What's going on, you lovely peeps? Lisa here, back with your weekly ANDI MACK recap. That's right, I'm here talking about all my favorite TV shows and movies and pop culture, whether it's recaps or fun facts, and sometimes I even interview people, including the ANDI MACK cast, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Alright, so this week's episode of ANDI MACK is called Andis Choice, and it basically plays out like one of those cliche teen rom-coms that you know you hate, but actually love at the same time. I also just kind of love how the show is self-aware and it has Buffy and Cyrus excited to watch this rom-com play out with Andy's life, and they think that they're the sassy friends.
It's a job being your sassy friend.
Good thing there are two of us.
So this episode actually opens with Andi taking extreme care of her dental hygiene, and Becks standing patiently waiting for Andi to finish in the bathroom with a mouthful of, mouthwash. And it's kind of strange to me. I feel like this was a very odd, cold opening for an episode. It just didn't seem like it fit, or it didn't play into any other storylines. I feel like normally the opening has to do with something that you're going to see play out later. I don't know what the point of this one was, unless it was to show again just how drastically different Becks and Andi are, with Becks being a little bit more free-spirited, disorganized, and Andi being very much to a routine and a system and organized. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on why that was kind of the opening of the episode? Moving on from that, we have our B storyline in this episode, which deals with Becks and Cece. And usually I don't feel like the B storylines for this show are that out of place or odd. I feel like they meld together with whatever the theme is and, what we have going on later in the season, things like that. And yes, this storyline does kind of fit the one theme, but I don't know, there's just something about it though that just seemed like so, I don't know, it just feels like it threw off the vibe of the episode, is what I'm trying to say. But what's the storyline, right? Well, the Fringe isn't doing so well, and in fact, Becks was going to actually be laid off until she became the highest rated cosmetologist on the show's version of Yelp. Yeah, how exactly did that happen overnight? Well, Brittany accuses Becks of writing her own fake reviews, but Becks is legit flabbergasted and just confused by what the heck is going on. Well, after they read a few of these reviews and look at the fake names, Becks realizes, hey, I know exactly who did this. It's none other than Cece. Then cue guest star Casey Stroh, who sadly did not pop and lock her way into this episode because that's what I would have wanted, her singing and dancing her way in.
Hip-hop is my passion. I love to pop and lock and jam and break.
And because if you watch my channel or any of my other videos, you know that I love putting in High School Musical references whenever I can. It's like a weird thing that for some reason I just find a reference to almost anything using that movie. And it's kind of strange. Some people call me out on it and others seem to love it. But anyway, I do enjoy the fact that she's still acting. And this was a fun thing. Kenny Ortega's directed some episodes of ANDI MACK, right? So it's a fun little High School Musical reunion of sorts. Anyway, I enjoyed this cameo, but Casey plays a rival cosmetologist named Zoe who's planning on suing Becks because someone's actually been leaving a bunch of fake negative reviews on her own page. Yeah, defaming her name there. And well, that ends up being Cece as well, because unfortunately Cece, while her heart was in the right place, she really just wanted to help her daughter. She did it the wrong way and took things just way too far. Like if she had just wrote fake great reviews for Becks, that would have been one thing. You couldn't get so mad at her for that. You could get mad, but not like, I feel like super mad. But the fact that she went and bashed these other people whose jobs and lives depend on whatever they're doing, without even knowing their work, or that's when it goes a little too far. And that's what Becks realizes. So Becks is not happy and calls out Cece and is like, look, your heart's in the right place, but what you're doing is wrong. And she's basically like, she needs to succeed or fail on her own. But Cece basically is just like, yeah, you've been taking too long. You got to make a big move. Your business is going slow. You got to make some money. This kind of stuff. And she basically just wants Becks to get out there. I think she's just excited that Becks is, passionate about something and not running around the world chasing bands or whatever she did as a teenager. And that whole Cece telling Becks that she needs to make some big moves and take some action is the theme of this episode, as we see Bowie also tell Jonah he needs to make some kind of big move when it comes to Andi and expressing his feelings. Anyway, Cece's still not hearing what Becks is saying. It's literally going in one ear and out the other, because when Cece has her own plan and wants to run the life of one of her kids or grandkids, she's gonna do it, right? So she surprises Becks and buys the Fringe for her, and Becks is not a happy camper. It's like, come on, Cece, are you planning on actually helping Becks run the Fringe? Like, Becks just got a degree in cosmetology. You want her to succeed as a cosmetologist, but now you are literally dropping a whole business in her lap. Like, you do think that Becks is actually ready for this, because she was already in over her head just being an employee of the Fringe with all those post-it notes everywhere. It feels like Cece's kind of setting up Becks to fail, even though Cece wants Becks to succeed. But also, we could have our fingers crossed here. Maybe Becks will find her calling as just a full business owner. She could show Cece, that, hey, I am, smart and talented and I can run this whole business. But I feel like it's just a lot to just all of a sudden drop in poor Becks's lap. So hopefully Cece's going to be behind the scenes helping run this business, or they kept on who else was running this business previously, because yeah, Becks just wants to do makeup, guys. Either way, I'm rooting for Becks, and we'll see how this plays out hopefully soon, and maybe not in like 10 episodes, because I feel like this show does a good job, and by a good job I mean a bad job, of just giving us a storyline and then all of a sudden just popping it to the back burner for about 10 episodes. Like, so many random things, and then they pop it up at the most random times. I mean, look at TJ and Cyrus and Buffy, that storyline. Then you have Amber's storyline, this Walker's storyline, and also I feel like the Miranda storyline that we just got in the last episode with Miranda and her daughter, and that seemed like something good to build on. There's like some mystery sort of there with, who stole the box in the first place, and then that's not even touched on in this episode. Way too many things going on, I think, for this show. Maybe it should be an hour instead of half an hour, right? Now on to our love triangle of Andi, Walker, and Jonah. So when Andi gets to the spoon ahead of Buffy and Cyrus, she gets a call from Walker, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And she tells him that she's hanging out with the good hair crew since Buffy is about to move away. And Walker's actually sweet about it. He's like, oh, okay, you need to spend time with them. Don't let me bother you. I'll call you later when you're free. And then he actually tells her if she's feeling sad to get a bubble machine, because bubbles seem to make people happy. When Buffy shows up at the spoon, she has a box of stuff of Andi and Cyrus's that they've left at the house over the years, and it's just a really cute scene that kind of reminds us that Buffy is moving, and it actually lets us know how Cyrus and Buffy became friends in 2nd grade. His mom wrote a letter of recommendation for Cyrus to Buffy to be her friend, and it's actually quite adorable.
Cyrus would be very interested in the position. I have no doubt he'd prove to be an indispensable asset to your playgroup.
She wasn't wrong.
Now, Andi usually tells Buffy and Cyrus everything, but one thing she hasn't really told them about is Walker and that date. But they don't have to wait too long to find out, because Walker shows up kind of trying to make a sweet gesture because he knows Buffy's moving and he wants to draw the three of them together as a gift for them. Now Buffy and Cyrus look stoked about this, but Andi's sitting there. She says sure, but she kind of also looks very unsure. And I don't know, Walker seems sweet, but also is he already a stage 5 clinger? He's kind of inviting himself into this world. The portrait actually turns out pretty well though, and brings about one of my favorite Cyrus lines this episode.
Is it just me? Or does Charcoal Cyrus look like Harry Styles?
Oh, Cyrus. He can always make me laugh. He's definitely the comic relief of the show, and I love it. Anyway, Andi fills Buffy and Cyrus in on the whole situation. Buffy and Cyrus seem kind of excited that Andi's love life is playing out like a rom-com and they get to be in the audience for it. But Andi, yeah, she's not so happy about it. She says everything is just confusing and it doesn't make her feel good. Meanwhile, Bowie asks Jonah why he didn't make it to his audition with Sid, and Jonah tries to lie, saying something came up. But then he lets out that he doesn't think Andi likes him anymore. So Bowie suggests that Jonah make a big move and, well, write Andi a song. Jonah says that he's not too good about talking about his feelings, which we already know from watching almost 2 seasons of the show. So Bowie helps Jonah out a lot. But they do finish a song, and then Bowie informs Jonah he's going to play it for Andi at the open mic night the next days. So yeah, Jonah starts to panic a little, but Bowie reassures him, that playing guitar is what soothes you. You'll be fine. You won't have a panic attack on stage. We'll see how that goes, right? So the next day at the Spoon, Jonah shows up passing out flyers for the open mic night, and he gives one to Buffy, Cyrus, and Andi, who are pretty shocked to learn that this kid sings and plays guitar. Well, we knew it was coming because Asher Angel plays and sings guitar in real life, so it was only a matter of time before Disney worked it in, right? Anyway, the trio promised to be there, but they're not front row like you'd expect. They're basically sitting in the last 2 rows. I feel like usually if you're excited for someone, you sit front row, right? Or do they know that would make him a little bit more nervous? Well, Jonah is, of course, very nervous before going on, so Bowie gives Jonah some tips on how to, deal with the anxiety and the nervousness of performing in front of a group, and they also just keep reminding us that while Jonah is pretty, he may not be the brightest bulb in the bunch. But essentially, Bowie tells Jonah to look in the crowd and sing to Andi. Well, as expected, when Jonah first starts singing, he's looking at the ground, he's very nervous, his voice is shaking, and Cyrus and Buffy are looking at each other like, oh crap, is this about to be an epic fail? When Bowie points over to Andi slyly, Jonah finally starts to sing to Andi, and he just starts gaining more confidence as the song goes on. Buffy and Cyrus turn around to Andi and they're like, this song's for you, and Andi's like, no, it's not. But as the song progresses, Andi is like, oh, this song is for me.
I love the way you smile. I love you're so creative, never going out of style.
For Becks CC shippers out there, I think there's a little moment in this episode for you as well, because Becks turns to Bowie and asks Bowie if he helped write this song, and Bowie says he helped a lot. And I feel like this is a sign that maybe Bowie used the song to express his feelings for Becks as well, because some of those things I feel like you could, attribute to Becks, her being creative and all this kind of stuff. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait to see if that is actually a true thing or not as time goes on. But after the open mic night is over, pretty much everybody leaves except our main characters, and we see Andi walk in slow-mo towards Jonah, because normally it's Jonah walking in slow-mo here, and she does, well, what you'd expect from a teen rom-com. Ah, young love. It seems like Andi has made her choice, right? Well, not so fast, because according to the promo for next week, this kiss just seems to complicate things even more.
I kissed Jonah.
Bye-bye, Walker.
Now I'm more confused than ever.
So now Andi has this dilemma. Do you go with the boy that you always crushed on, but when it actually happened, expectations did not meet reality? And yeah, it wasn't what you thought. But now this boy has actually come to realize that he has feelings for you, and he started paying more attention, because as the saying goes, you don't know what you got until it's gone. Or does Andi go for the new guy who seems kind of mysterious but also open at the same time, and he's fun, and yeah, but also a little bit forward and seems a little nosy? I don't know. Of course, there's always option C, just live your best single life, girl. You're only like 13, because all I know is I never knew this much drama existed when I was in middle school. The only things I had to worry about were like getting the cool clothes, I guess, what Power Ranger I got to be at lunch, and yeah, if the vending machine was going to be stocked full of Mountain Dew and hot fries. I guess times have changed, or I wasn't cool enough, I don't know. One thing I do like about this episode and just Jonah's storyline as of late is that they're finally giving this character some depth, because honestly, he was a pretty boring character until these last few episodes. And no, that's not me saying giving him an anxiety storyline made him more interesting. It's just been a progression in general of seeing him actually start to have feelings and not just feel like a kid who was pushed out of a factory because he was cute and just smiles all the time, or pouts and looks like he's gonna cry and is just like running around the field chasing butterflies. They've given him more dimensions, because even without this anxiety storyline, just seeing him come to realize, hey, I am gonna pay attention to Andi. Hey, I am gonna get involved. Hey, I'm gonna learn music. That makes him a more well-rounded character, and I like seeing that. Now, the other part of the next episode deals with Buffy's upcoming move, which now seems to be only like a day away or so let's watch the promo clip.
This is our last day together. I can't remember my life before I met Andi and Cyrus.
Let's make a time capsule.
What I want is a normal day, remember?
This just isn't a normal day. She doesn't want a time capsule.
What if you don't bury it? What's wrong with that?
Please keep it down. Buffy can't know we're here.
Alright, you guys, what did you think of this episode? Do you think Andi actually likes Jonah, or was she just caught up in the feelings of the moment and, oh, he wrote a song for me, I should kiss him? Should Andi choose Walker, Jonah, or herself? Will Buffy actually move, and if she does, how will she fit into Season 3? Because we know Sophia Wiley's been filming some episodes for Season 3. Could there be a little bit of a time jump? It comes in the summer, and Buffy comes to visit for the summer? We shall see. Let me know all your thoughts and theories and comments and whatever down below. After that, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that thumbs up. Click right over here for those Andi Mack interviews that I did a couple weeks ago at the RDMAs. And yeah, that's it for now. My name's Lisa. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time on What Happened.